Providing Guyanese with modern and affordable housing has always been at the forefront of every PPPC administration. This has been manifested with the development of several housing schemes and the regularization of several squatting areas across the 10 administrative regions of Guyana. Here in Region 10, the PPPC government's development agenda is moving apace with infrastructural works, business grants, jobs, and a massive housing expansion drive, just to name a few. Over the weekend, opposition operatives took to their social media platforms and sought to mislead Guyanese by falsely claiming that the Ministry of Housing and Water, through the Central Housing and Planning Authority, demolished 20 homes without notice. I spoke with the Minister of Housing and Water, the Honorable Collin Croal, who debunked these rumors.
So the area under question, since we've seen in the media from since last Friday to now, it's called Amelia's Ward Phase 4. But I can't just respond to you in 1 minute. I have to give you a historical context of this area. The issue of squatting in Region 10 has been ongoing for years. And it is being encouraged by the APNU AFC operatives in Region 10. When we got into office, first of all, we assessed the situation and what needed to be done. Now, the area for Amelia's Ward, first of all, we did what is called an occupational survey. That is because we need to determine the occupancy that was taking place there. That was done in December 2020. So I'm using the period since we're in office. You then had, so the team went to the ground, they engaged all the persons in the area in December 2020. His Excellency, the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, had an outreach in January 2021. On that, announced an elaborate plans for Region 10 that include housing. That were towards our 1,000 housing program, the development of housing scheme for Region 10, etc. In this very Amelia's Ward area, my colleague Minister Susan Rodriguez visited this area on the 23rd of April 2021. Having met with the team there, met persons on the ground, all were told, they continued being told, please desist from squatting. This area is identified for housing development. We gave a commitment that we will regularize those that are there. In regularizing, there are processes that have to be followed. Inclusive of that is that you must also be in our system of having had an application. Inclusive of that is in regularizing, you have to take cognizance of the design, the layout of the area. So when you are doing the alignment, somebody, because of the ad hoc manner in which they operated, when you're doing the alignment for the road, etc., more than likely you will have fences or structures in the way. 1 week after that engagement in April, 1 week after, we had to resend the enforcement team again, because after that engagement, there was even encouraged squatting for the expansion. So persons started to shift their fence, knowing clearly our commitment that we will develop the area. They started to shift their fences. They started to even construct further. All were told to desist from what you're doing. Everyone there. Then we had our Dream Realized activity on July 13th, 2021, last year. I said to you, in 5 years, they allocated 359 lots. This PPPC government, 1 year into office, allocated 400 lots in Amelia's Phase 4 area. And so APNU can speak all day to talk about that they so love Region 10. Right there, and then you can see who really loves Region 10 and who really care for the people's development. After that Dream Realized activity, what we found is that knowing the area, as I said, they were being encouraged, we still had continued encroachment. All were told that please desist. They have constant engagement. The CEO for CHP engaged again this year during February. There was an agreement that no further infrastructure work will be done by any one of those, and they were told clearly that there's an alignment for where the access road has to pass, because we have to build the access road at some point in the area. There was one gentleman, and let me give you a case in point. This is a picture as of March of this year, March. This is a picture as of May 6th,
Wow.
2 months after. This very gentleman was one of the infrastructure that was demolished last week. You can see clearly in 2 months, despite being informed that the road has to pass there, he continued building. And this is the CEO himself engaged. He was very abusive, in fact, to the team. Used, language not desirable. So it's a clear case. You can see that it was encouraged, squatting, and Figueroa and the others who are leading the team in Linden wants the STEMI development. Now, I said to you, even in the APNU time, they were dealing with squatting in Amelia's ward. I have here a letter. This is September 23rd, 2017. The former minister of here, Valerie Patterson, who's from Linden. This is what she said. During a previous visit in Amelia's ward area, I'm quoting, the minister said that some people were asked to stop building, but others ignored the order. Because they were so smart, they built behind the bushes, but now that the area is clear, we are seeing the houses. I had discussion with those persons. They have to break them down. Some are strong concrete structures. Headline, Kaichor News. 1 week after, here's an article from Guyana Chronicle. Lindeners urged to desist from squatting. Authorities in Linden have called on residents in the mining town to desist from squatting, since it's not only illegal but poses a serious health problem. Linden Mayor Collin Croal said squatting is becoming a serious issue and is calling on the administration to look into it. These are all both of them, PNC operatives. They themselves recognize that there was an issue of squatting and it was being encouraged.
Minister Croal added that government is ready and willing to move ahead with its developmental agenda for Region 10.
We have, the contractors are ready, they have mobilized, and we need to start the work in the area. And so my plea again is to say very clearly that the leaders from the APNU, PNC, AFC, etc., they are stemming development in Region 10. Our plans for Region 10 in the housing sector alone will bring total benefit and relief to Lindeners, to provide them with an opportunity to live in a comfortable environment and to have infrastructure work done for them so that they can enjoy an area that is called an housing scheme proper versus what they are doing of squatting in Amelia's ward. And development cannot take place in an environment like that.
Minister Croal said the rumors being spread by opposition operatives that 20 homes were demolished in this squatting area is completely false.
Okay, so my information, there are just two buildings that were destroyed, two. One of which I just showed you the picture, and if in this you'll see that it is not complete. And the other, which I've received the information this morning, and for which the Central Housing and Planning Authority has reached out, because I saw it in the news I think it's someone who they said is running from an abuse situation, etc. The Central Housing and Planning Authority, the agency for which we implement our housing program, the door is open to anyone who wants to work with us. And so the agency continues its work, and like how we deal with all squatting issues, all irregular areas, we have a mechanism to engage. And we don't take pleasure in demolishing any structure. But there has to come a time where we have to start the development for the area, and the time is now.
Chief Executive Officer of the Central Housing and Planning Authority, Sherwin Greaves, on Monday met with residents at the Regional Housing Office in Crabwood Street, Linden. Following a fruitful discussion, the CEO announced that the two families whose structures were demolished will receive housing units, while the other residents who had structures such as fences and foundations will be given house lots. So I'm here with Latoya Baxter. She just attended a meeting with the CEO of the Central Housing and Planning Authority to address this situation with squatters in this Amelia's Ward expansion that is currently happening here. Tell us a bit about what you heard at the meeting.
Well, basically, they gave us options if we prefer to stay here and wait until the area got regularized, or we would prefer one of the homes that they're building, the government houses, or they would relocate you to, I guess, another place where you could get a land of your own. So that's basically it. They gave you the options and you had a choice, which one you prefer.
So according to the CEO, this is supposed to be sorted out by Friday of this week. You should have a title in your hand for property. Do you feel that this puts you in a better position than you were currently in here, where this house was demolished? You had nothing to prove ownership?
Yes, it does. It does actually. It's a better option. It's easier, much easier on me because it was a bit difficult, with the light system and the water and stuff. So yes, I would say that's a great option.
So I'm here in Amelia's Ward, the squatting area, with Mr. Vandenborg and Ms. Moore. They just concluded a meeting with the Chief Executive Officer of Central Housing and Planning Authority. So tell us a bit about what you heard at that meeting.
Well, for what I understand, for what I'm reasoning about is that, yeah, it's sounding good that we get back with either a land or a house, wherever we choose to get and we need, and then we can start from there.
Ms. Moore, how do you feel about what the CEO said today? I know that you're a little distraught with the demolition, but there is a way and a path forward here.
Yeah, I feel good. We said it depends house lot, which one you choose, the house or the lot. Yeah.
Do you see it as a good thing to have this squatting area regularized so that people can get water, light, and other utilities that they need?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's made the place look more unique, and everybody can live with more love and more. Yeah. That's even I see that. But you need more upgrade, and with the roads and everything, yes, things can do more better.